Hey guys, what's going on? We're back with our weekly Enhancement Shaman solo shuffle, and this is the last one of the season, which I did stream because it has a very special event at the end, kind of, as you can all expect. So yeah, but anyways, I streamed this last week during the final week of the season because if I did it this week, I wouldn't have got the achievement. And this is how it went. So yeah, we have a Dev Evoker, we have a Resto Druid, we have a Blood Death Knight who I continuously called evil. I did if you go back and watch the actual VOD. We have a Prez Evoker and we have a Frost Mage. So my last time facing a Blood DK did not go very well. I went 1-5, which was quite something and very frustrating. I was definitely not excited for this match considering it was two highly mobile casters with a lot of CC. And yeah, I didn't have much high hopes for it. So, but anyways, myself and the Dev Evoker, our plan here was to go after the Frost Mage. As I'm sure you can understand, going after the Blood DK doesn't seem like the most optimal choice. So we were like, okay, you know what? We might as well just go for the Frost Mage. Might as well try it out, see what happens. So that's what we're doing. And when you have a blood DK on the enemy team, it is the most frustrating thing ever. It really is, especially as an enhanced shaman where you have no mobility whatsoever, and you're fighting a Prez Evoker with a Frostmate. It's just honestly, I can't even touch him. So yeah, it was definitely something else. So we're just gonna mindlessly chase after this frost mage in hopes that we bring him down because that's all we can do. So you can see here he's doing a great job kiting, and I don't really want to chase behind the pillar, but they ended up grouping up here, so I was able to get a nice little cage, get them all grouped up, start doing a bit of damage, see what I could get done. We get the mage to pop an ice wall here, which is a bit unfortunate. So I go ahead and actually target it and bring it down. So that way it's out of the way and my Resto Drew doesn't have to worry too much about it. But every time this DK grips me, he also silences me and stuff. So they get a big combo off on us. But we were able to survive and stagger it out. So there's our first ice block from the mage. I believe it's the first one. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Although we are 50% into dampening, we got an ice block, so that's one immunity down. Now, remember, blood DK, I can't really move, and then I get stuck in the frost orb and just completely flop. I don't even know. I don't know. So I was frustrated. I was frustrated. So this round, I am with the Blood Death Knight. So I let him charge in first, kind of wait to see what's happening here. And we kind of agreed on going after the Frost Mage a little bit. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? Let's hit what we can. Hit what we can. You know, so he gets a nice Gorfeme grass. I drop a cage totem right on top, and we get a nice combo. I see the mages. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the ice circle. It basically stuns you if you stand in it too long around the frost mage. So I decided to sit out of that. Very important to do because it definitely allows the mage to get a huge amount of damage out on you. You can see here, I'm able to kind of stick to the mage a bit better with the blood DK, but you can see the Prez pulled the mage really far away, so I just decided to hit the Dev Evoker, closest target, right? No point in mindlessly running at him. Why don't we just hit the closest target? So here I go for a nice hex, get it on the mage, because he's the one with the decurse. So he can't get out of it, but unfortunately, since my Flame Shock was on him, it hit my Primordial Wave hit and broke it, which sucked, but we get quite a lot of damage right there. We get the Dev Evoker very, very low, which is nice. So now I'm gonna chase out. The mage blinks towards the Dev Evoker, so they're kind of stacked here, just a little bit. So that's kind of nice. So I go ahead, get a little get my totems down, get prepped, and then this is where I think we get a nice little combo. There's my cap totem, move it, double stun, but the evoker gets to fly away with his deep breath or whatever it is. So I go ahead, quickly swap to the mage, get a lot of damage out on him, and the blood DK is going to continue doing what blood DKs do, and that is being very annoying to these guys. So I drop a cage totem, get them stuck in my blood DK, and then I see the ice wall, so I just stagger out for a second, just waiting. And we actually get a nice little combo here. He grips them all in, but the mage breaks it up by using his ice circle, which sucked. Tried to knock me into it, but thankfully I positioned myself in a weird spot so he couldn't. So there's this another freeze stun thing. So I'm getting blasted here, taking a lot of damage. I'm just gonna hit the Devoker because he's right in front of me. There's nothing. I see him going in for the sleep. We get him hit with the interrupt from the DK, I believe, or he canceled it. I'm not sure. So here we get them all kind of grouped up. I see the healer going for a sleepwalk, and then I get stunned. So I'm spamming Tremor trying to get him out of there. Okay, perfect. He's safe. And now we're gonna hit this Dev Evoker. I'm gonna root him. Blood DK's on top of him. There's nowhere he can go. So I'm chasing and thankfully bring him down. Bring him down just in time. I was like, yeah, we finally got one. So on to the next match is myself and the Frost Mage with the Prez Evoker this time. So if you know, Enhance and Frost Mage don't really mix very well. But they do complement each other in some ways. For instance, the Frost Mage has a lot of crowd control, allowing a lot of slows and roots and stuff. So it does make it a bit easier for the Enhancement Shaman to catch up. The biggest problem is neither of us really have a game closer, I guess, is what I'm trying to think of. So we're kind of just hitting our heads against the wall. But anyways, we decide, okay, you know what? The Devoker is probably our best bet here, so let's go ahead and focus him down as much as possible. So we actually get quite a bit of damage on him. He flies away just a little bit. He's got Nullification Shroud up, but neither of us really have anything that is going to be I don't canceled by that, so we're not really too worried about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the mage deal with the blood decay as much as he can. The druid comes in with a maim, gets polymorphed right after. So I'm like, okay, sweet. Drop a little root totem here, drop a cap totem. He gets a repoly. I get a full combo off quickly. Primordial Storm Doom wins, and we bring down the evoker just in time. I think he had like 1 second on polymorph, bit unfortunate, but we got him thankfully because that would have been a very rough match if it went on since we don't have much. But anyways, myself and the Dev Evoker once again with the Prez Evoker this time. So same plan as last time is we're gonna go after the mage. Although here we kind of sit behind the pillar, seeing what the blood DK does, and he's just all over us. As to be expected, I can't get away. I tried leaping over, but the blood decay brings me back, and the mage gets stuns and then blinks into us, which was definitely interesting. Mainly because he had his stun up, but it didn't actually get me, which is great. So it just ended up going against him, unfortunately. So we get a nice primordial storm, get some damage off, boom, and we get a nice double cap totem, and he's blinking away, kind of kiting as to be expected. I chase after, get grip right back. Meh, nothing I can do. There's hitting a blood DK is the exact same as really chasing after this mage as much as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead, try to get a hex off on this blood DK. Tried to bait out any interrupt or anything, but nothing. So I end up catching the mage though, which is great. So I have Primordial Wave, I have Doomwind, so I have a quick combo I can get off. So I'm getting ready to set it up for it. I get CC'd with Primordial Wave, so I go ahead and quickly root him, try and get something, but my Primordial Storm is very quickly running out, so I quickly go for it, get off as much damage as possible, see if I can get anything, and just nothing really comes out of it, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But I had to get it off. So I go ahead, drop a cap totem, try and get the stun onto the druid, which does work out, but we don't there wasn't really any need for it because we had no condition there. We had no real condition. It was just pointless CC putting people on DR, right? So it definitely sucks. So we're still on top of the mage. He's sticking on me, which is unfortunate for him. I see the cyclone going out, so I go ahead and quickly stop that, make sure, and then here we get a nice block. Perfect. We just get some random proc damage, and we get a nice ice block. Great. So now he's got 30, well, I think it's 30 seconds on hypothermia, right? Something like that. So our focus is okay, we can bring down this mage. We got a bit of time. So let's try and focus up. So I'm spamming Purge because I can't quite reach him. He has his ice circle back up, so I back up. I don't want to get caught in that. No need for it. So the Evoker gets CC'd, I get a nice stun onto the healer, and I end up getting a storm off on the mage, and the evoker also got some solid damage. So that's 3 wins. 3 wins, perfect. Now we have a actual chance. So there's no way in losing rating here. There's just a chance at not gaining anything. Perfect. So I'm a bit happier at this point. So the Dev Evoker and the Blood DK together, myself and the Frost Mage with the Resto Druid. So kind of the same thing here. Kind of the same thing. So we're gonna go after the Evokers. We're not gonna worry about Blood DK. Blood DK pointless. So our win condition is getting them into some heavy CC. Right? So like my cap totem into his frost stun, and we just cleave him down. You can see our damage is pretty high just from raw cleave damage. But here they get an early ice block from our mage, which does suck a little bit. So I see the sleep go out. So I go ahead and drop a tremor. It does break out his sleep, and you can see the evoker kind of chasing our druid. So we start prepping. I have Doom Winds and Primordial Wave coming off a cooldown in about 15 seconds. I got Cap Totem coming up. Okay, we have something. We get a nice Cyclone. That was a very good Cyclone by the Druid on his Emerald Communion, which stopped the healing of the Dev Evoker. So that canceled out an entire cooldown from the healer, which was great. So he's really scared right now. He knows he's in trouble. So I get a Doom Winds Primordial Storm off. Unfortunately, I don't get much out of it. Go ahead and try and hex the Presevoker, but I saw it coming. I got interrupted and slept. So I go ahead and hex him. He goes ahead and trinkets right away because he knew it was danger. The mage gets a nice setup onto both the Blood DK and the Devoker. I drop a cage totem so they can't escape. Unfortunately, the Blood DK gets a nice silence on me, so I can't really commit anything, which sucked. So we're just gonna mindlessly run at this evoker, get a little primordial wave, big storm, get some bad damage, but we're not really getting anything. So I go ahead and try and go for a hex. Unfortunately, the blood DK interrupts me, but we do get a poly off at the Presevoker. So the mage is back. I get a cap totem. He does a little stun thing. The Presevoker is kind of struggling to keep his Devovoker alive. So you can see here they start backing off completely. Blood DK is trying to keep me away from their Devovoker. He goes away from the pole or behind the pillar. So I see the sleep go off. So I go ahead, tremor as fast as I can. And then the Devovoker comes back into combat. So I'm like, okay, I got a full combo here. And we go ahead. He deep breaths me, gets away. I'm like, oh my God, please, please, please. He hovers towards me. So I'm like, okay, awesome. Walk up to him and Primordial Storm. And you can see my little cheer there. Yeah. So we got 4. So I was so excited. So here, myself and the Blood DK with the Presevoker. We're gonna go after the Frost Mage. He's definitely gonna be the more pain in the butt to go after, but he's got the least amount of defense in my opinion. So I see the Cyclone from the Druid, he tries to get it. Go ahead and interrupt that as fast as I can, so that way my healer does not have to worry about anything in this opener, because this is usually the scariest part. So their focus is going to be me, which is going to be unfortunate, but I got a blood DK to bring them towards me rather than I have to chase them, which is great. So here we get double stunned, which sucked, but my evoker does a great job at rescuing me further and further away, which was awesome. Gets me way out of harm's way. He doesn't have to worry about the blood DK because, well, he's a blood DK. So I get a nice root off. I see some CC. There's a nice wall, so I go ahead. I was gonna kill it, but the evoker actually teleported away from it or whatever they do, hover. So I wasn't too worried. I see the druid setting up for a cyclone, so I wasn't able to interrupt, but I did get the grounding off to grab it. So it was great. Don't have to worry about that. He gets a nice sleep off on the druid, which was awesome to see. But we couldn't really capitalize on it, so we ended up trinketing, and we're kind of we're right there. We're right there. We see everything about to happen, but nothing. We can't really commit because I don't have any cooldowns, and the blood DK is just doing his thing, right? Just being annoying. So we're committing onto this Dev Evoker. He does a nice grip into the Druid, so I see that. So I cage him in so he can't escape from our blood DK. Do a little Primordial Wave, Primordial Storm, quick damage, boom. and we get stunned. But really, we didn't really get anything. We got Tree of the Ancients, but it's not a huge amount. So the Blood Decay is keeping everybody on, keeping them in control. We're going after the mage. Boom. We're connecting. Okay, great. You can see we're just not a whole lot's happening, but the Blood Decay grips everybody in, tries to get them all together. Okay, great. So the our Pres Evoker goes in for a nice deep breath, tried to go for a sleep, I assume, but didn't. So here I overcommit, getting a little bit in chaos. So here's where the Pres Evoker saves me, drags me way back, and Blood Decay, he doesn't care. He's a Blood Decay, right? So the Dev Evoker brings the Druid in. He gets slept. I'm trying to connect onto this Evoker, try and do a little CC, follow up with a nice little Hex, and we're able to finish off the Evoker. And you can see here, I get it. Woohoo, cheer, and then slowly relax. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!